1 Peter chapter 5 and verses 2 and 3. Have you got it, Mr. Stewart?
I do.
Yes. Shepherd the flock of God under your care, serving as overseers, not under compulsion, but willingly before God, not for love of dishonest gain, but eagerly, and then this is the point, not lording it over those who are God's inheritance, but becoming examples to the flock. The point being here, another aspect that an elder needs to consider is he does not have the authority to lord it over or take over control of a family arrangement.
Hello, everybody.
And here we are again.
Hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend. Welcome to our home.
Yes, boy, we're having a good day. What a find. What a score. Boom, we hit the jackpot this morning.
So we go into a little, secondhand store that we have here in town that has just a little bit of everything.
Just keep in mind, this is absolutely nowhere, New Mexico. Nowhere, New Mexico.
Well, I think you were looking for some bolts or something.
Yeah, I was
for
looking
a project.
for some wood screws.
So we're looking at, everything, and right at eye level,
On a bookshelf.
I see this. Morals and Dogma, Ancient and Accepted Right. And I'm like, oh. So, open it up.
This is Albert Pike's book on Freemasonry. Interesting.
This one was reprinted in 1948, and it is an old book.
And what's interesting is you open it up, the first page, there's a picture of old Albert Pike himself. But look at what the reading right there says. Apparently somebody didn't give this back to a Masonic temple when they died.
Yeah, it says that, let me read it since they probably didn't see it.
Yeah.
Esoteric book for Scottish Rite use only, to be returned upon withdrawal or death of recipient.
Yes. And it's got some really neat things in it that I haven't quite figured out yet, but of course it's going to take a little time.
A lot of stuff.
Yeah, there's huge 4-leaf clovers
Pressed inside. Now, what's interesting is because there was no price on this book, so we asked him, how much is this? And she had to go get her husband, and he comes out and he says, oh, well, this book is in the wrong place. It's not even supposed to be here, but
Yeah.
it's part of a collection. And we're like, a collection of what? And he says, a collection of Freemason books that someone brought in. And it's like, oh, The Lost Keys to Freemasonry.
by
Manly P. Hall. Also includes the classic works Freemason of the Ancient Egyptians.
Yeah. And
Freemason for Dummies.
and also
New Encyclopedia of Freemasonry.
Solomon's Power Brokers. And then The Lost Keys of Freemasonry, another one by Manuel P. Hall, but I think this is just the short version.
Yeah. Now, contrary to what some have put on YouTube that we're Illuminati and Freemasons, no. We study this stuff not only to get knowledge of what we're dealing with, but also for the connection with Watchtower.
Yeah.
Because in one of these that Mike was looking through, they have a thing of symbols. You know the cross and crown that Russell used?
Put on the Watchtowers in
Guess
the early
what?
days.
It's under the list of the Knights Templars. Now, what's interesting is he was reading to me how the Knights Templars is the branch of the Freemasons that is for
Christian branch of Freemasonry. And up until I read that, Kim and I did not know that, because in all our research online, never have we read that specific phrase that the cross and crown is the symbol for Christian Freemasonry. So I found that very interesting. Also,
Knowledge.
Yes, knowledge. Also, I'm gonna obscure the original owner of the book, because I want to show the pressed rose. But you see that little envelope right there?
It's
That's
like glued
taped.
in.
It's like glued in. When you flip it up on the back side, it reads in somebody's handwriting. I can only assume it was the owner of this particular book. he who does right is better than he who thinks right. Now, isn't it interesting how Watchtower really practices the reverse of that saying? Because Watchtower speaks like they're doing right, but they actually do the opposite and they don't practice what is right. And we're going to show that in this particular video because it relates with what we're going to get into here right now.
Oh, yes. Now, we want to thank Professor Martyrdom of Truth. Yeah, Professor Martyrdom Truth and Ghostwriter Grace. Thank you, guys. It was great Skyping with you last week, but thank you for allowing us to use the clips from your video because this is really important.
It is. Especially if you don't have any acquaintances or any background knowledge of Jehovah's Witnesses. When they come to your door, they're going to tell you that they actually act, well, like Christians. And in reality, they're getting filmed all the time, not acting as Christians or not acting, or they're not practicing what they preach. And we've got footage of this.
Yeah, and that's why we put the clip at the beginning of this video to Jeffrey Jackson testifying under oath on a Bible before Jehovah that to tell the truth. And then he says that the elders will not lord it over or try to get control over a family. So, or masters of your faith, however it's worded.
Yeah, so let's just put it in modern day terms. What they're really saying, because having been one of Jehovah's Witnesses for all my life, you get used to hearing Watchtower say, or even elders say, well, we don't police the brotherhood. We don't act as police. We don't get involved with your personal lives. When you're a Jehovah's Witness, you hear this. You hear this all the time. So being one of Jehovah's Witnesses and out, and then to hear somebody like Jeffrey Jackson say, well, we don't do that. It's like, that's bullshit because you do that. And now we have a small clip to where we can actually absolutely show you that they do police the brotherhood. They will dictate to you what your behavior is to be, whether or not they print something opposite in their magazines.
So I'm going to read what is in the Watchtower here, and then I have a comment to make before we show the clip. This is from the 2013, November 15th Watchtower. You all remember this one. The article before this particular one is the one that obey, even if it's not logical from a human standpoint or not.
Be ready to obey.
Yeah. So in the next article, they have this on page 28, paragraph 9 and 10. And I'm going to go about halfway down paragraph 9.
Yeah, and it's under the subheading, I set the pattern for you. In speaking of the pattern of Christ, the pattern of love.
Yeah. Well, I'll just start at the beginning of paragraph 9.
Paragraph 9, yeah.
Jesus' view of a spiritual shepherd's role differed from that once manifested by James and John. The two apostles sought to secure a prominent position in the kingdom, but Jesus corrected their attitude, saying, you know that foreign rulers like to order their people around. Okay, now remember that. The rulers like to order their people around. And their great leaders have full power over everyone they rule. But don't act like them. This was Christ's command. Yeah. Do not act like them. If you want to be great, you must be the servant of all the others. The apostles needed to resist a tendency toward wanting to lord it over their companions or to order people around. Paragraph 10. Jesus expects Christian elders to treat the flock the same way that he treated it. They must be willing to act as servants to their companions and not masters over them.
So now, where did Jehovah's Witnesses draw the line that's blurred now between being a servant and lording it over? Yes. Now you have to remember that when somebody is disfellowshipped in the Kingdom Hall, the specific thing that they were disfellowshipped for is not known to the congregation. Because if Watchtower was to publicly make that announcement, it would actually be an act of slander. Because they're making this announcement publicly without verifiable proof.
Well, how many would they scare off and say, oh, this person's been fellowship because he's a pedophile?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. It wouldn't hold any water, would it? Everybody would just see the nonsense and leave. So, watch the clip, because as you watch the clip of Professor Martyrdom Truth, get it backwards, you will see that there's a white car coming from the parking lot of the Kingdom Hall, and she begins to engage.
Talking about sign
language. Professor Martyrdom Truth. And then there's another vehicle that comes in very shortly thereafter and pulls off to the side. But then there's a pickup truck that comes in after them, and watch what this, and I'm only assuming that it's an elder, and it's probably a pretty good logical conclusion that it is, because I can't imagine a ministerial servant or a rank and file member doing this, but an elder would. And look how he takes control, not control of the situation, but you'll see him lean in the car, and I can only imagine what he's saying. Sister, you need to move on because these are apostates. And she immediately moves on. So how is that not ordering people around? See, how is that also not violating a person's civil rights? Think about it as you watch this clip.
And I also wanted to mention, too, before I forget, that we have to remember, this is across the street from the Kingdom Hall. This is not on Kingdom Hall property. The elder has no authority on this property whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. So that ecclesiastical authority in the life of a Jehovah's Witness very much extends beyond the parking lot of a Kingdom Hall. And you're going to see it. That's why this is so great. So what Jehovah's Witnesses preach, they do not practice.
Yeah. And that's why this is good. So we really appreciate the professor and Grace, recording this.
Yeah. So if you haven't had a chance to check out their channel, their YouTube channel is Professor Martyrdom Truth.
Yes. Yep.
So please check them out and enjoy the clip. And
yes, you're cool. We love you. Oh, they're coming across the street. Curiosity killing cats. Here we go.
You go. You get it, baby.
Hi. How are you? Amazing. You look very well today.
Thank you. And how about you?
Amazing.
Where are y'all from?
I'm from right here. I'm from right here where you're at.
Oh, okay. And y'all do sign language?
A little bit, yeah. We like to mess with it. It's good stuff.
Well, Jehovah's Witnesses do have sign language congregations. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And so when you did like this,
Oh.
I thought, that might be some of our witnesses.
Yeah. It is. It is. And she said you signed back. We thought that was so cool.
Yeah. And then I learned from some friends in the sign language congregation in Macon, Georgia, because I live in Georgia.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm here helping my sister.
Yes, ma'am.
She's sick, so I've been here almost 3 months.
Yes, ma'am.
But I'm hoping to go home at the end of the month. But anyway,
Understood. Well, our prayers are with her,
thank you.
with you.
So, my sister told me this.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that because I can't do my fingers like that.
Yeah.
And I said, I love this.
Yeah, it's a friend who loves. Yeah,
She said, that means I love them.
that's it.
Oh, that is so
That's exactly
Oh, look,
it.
we got a crowd going.
Yes, ma'am, we got a crowd up in here. Yes, ma'am. I love to sign. I love being able to communicate with the community that cannot hear. Oh, is he interrupting my language?
Okay, it was nice to meet you.
Oh,
It was
it's
nice talking to you. Have a
Love
great
you,
day.
And our prayers are with you.
Hey, we appreciate your help, brother. You have a good day. You seen your friends with your own eyes. You seen it. I couldn't make this up. Look, let's talk to this cat over here.
She was asking me because I do the I love you sign, and I speak sign language. She
Yeah.
was asking me about sign language.
Yeah, we were talking about sign language. It was totally cool.
No, but about taking video or pictures.
Yeah. That's cool, huh? I mean, we're in America. We have the right to do that.
Just asking why.
Right.
Oh,
right.
well, we were actually trying to talk to some witnesses about a few things. Okay.
Just wanted to ask some questions about the convention.
It was nice to see you,
So when
baby.
is the convention for you guys? In August? Cool.
Right on.
Cool.
We'll see you there.
All right.
We're really glad you took the time to talk to us, brother. I know I understand what's going on. I understand this brother told you not to talk to us, and it's cool. And I understand he's going to sit here and wait for you to leave. I understand the drill. I was born and raised in this. I know all about it. What I want to tell you, brother, if I don't tell one other Jehovah's Witness this, Jeffrey Jackson, your governing body member in the Australian Royal Commission. YouTube it, brother. We love you. We love all of you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know your name, but I love you. Y'all be good. We really love you. Y'all be good.
We don't run a police state where we go and try and force people to follow our beliefs.
Now, first of all, we just also played another clip that Jeffrey Jackson testimony gave in front of the Australian Royal Commission, how they don't control, they don't lord it over, they're not masters of anyone's faith.
Yes, they are, and yes, they do. You just seen it right there.
You know what that is?
Oh, come on now. That ain't even bullshit. That's horseshit.
You see, Watchtower, you are not going to win this, because the more that your members, rank and file and or elders included, get videotape pulling these types of shenanigans, the more we're going to mock and expose who and what you people truly are. You love to lord it over people, and you love to control people's lives. And there again, this summer's 2016 district convention is just further proof, because now the rank and file Jehovah's Witness are being told to shun family members who are fading away because they haven't returned to Jehovah. There again, you are lording it over, and you are violating people's civil rights, and you're breaking up families. So no matter how much bullshit propaganda you put on jw.org, this apostate community is here to show conclusively that you men are nothing but deceivers, and who your father truly is. And it isn't Yahweh, it's this false god, Jehovah.
Exactly. And the thing is, the professor wasn't doing any aggressive activism, so-called aggressive
waving
activism.
hi to people.
He was only waving, and he was doing I don't remember what the sign language is for I love you. So that's all he was doing. And, this sister was kind enough to come over and start talking about the sign language. And, the thing is that's why this is important to record these. Because even just doing something like that and witnesses coming over and talking to you, this also shows that witnesses are losing their fear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just super fantastic to see how many Jehovah's Witnesses are actually breaking through that barrier of fear that Watchtower has installed in them. Jehovah's Witnesses, we're not the boogeyman. Truly, we're not. The only reason why we're doing this is because we are concerned for your well-being. All you have to do is just read some testimonies, talk to some ex-members, maybe some that were having anxiety problems, maybe some that were having problems with depression, and they go to some medical doctor and there's happy pills described. Kim and I have contacted more than enough Jehovah's Witnesses, ex-Jehovah's Witnesses, that have said that, once I left Watchtower, there was no more need for these anxiety pills.
Well, if you want to read someone's
on.
testimony, just go to our website, watchtower.expose, and there's a tab at the top called Watchtower Victim Library.
Yeah.
And just read some of those testimonies of, some of the things that happened to these poor people. And, anyone is welcome to go tell their story. You just go down below in the comments and just answer, the question just to prove that, I think it's like a math question to prove that you are a person.
Yeah.
And you can do your story, and you can do it anonymously.
And the thing is I can't speak for every member in the XJW community, because I know that there are some that have different motives, but the vast majority of us truly are doing this out of concern for your well-being. Others are doing it because they also want your money, just like Watchtower.
Yes. And we want to give a big shout out to everybody. I know we haven't done that in a while.
There's just too many. I mean, my goodness, it's getting
I know, and there's
flooded
just
with new
so
guys
many new channels, and we apologize for missing, new ones. Or if anybody's given us a shout out in a YouTube, video, we're sorry if we've missed it. I really don't know unless someone sends me a link and says, hey, they gave you a shout out. Which reminds me, thank you so much, John Newsome, Newsome. Oh, he's just so precious. I just want to hug him.
This guy cracks me up. I mean,
we love his
This older brother is he's just spot on. I'm telling you, this guy is just fantastic, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I just want to give him a hug and adopt him as like a grandpa or something.
He's just a no-nonsense type of guy.
Yeah, kind of reminds me of how my dad was.
And what's interesting is, when Kim and I was alerted to this shout-out from John, we thought maybe he was just somebody new, and then you go to his channel and you realize he's been doing this for a couple of years now.
My goodness, over 700 videos.
Yeah, so John, keep him up, because the young voices, the middle-aged voices, and the older voices were all saying the same thing. Avoid this religion, because you will get damaged one way or another. And he's even got stories of how he himself even withheld the education of his own children, because 1975 was just around the corner, and now that generation's dead and gone, 75's come and gone, we all realize we've been duped. And another reason why we do these videos and we speak loud and proud is that we want the viewing audience, the non-Jehovah's Witnesses, to also realize that when these people come knocking on your door on Saturday morning, there's a hidden agenda. That Jehovah Witness at your door may not know it, but I guarantee you by the time you make elder, you will know it.
Yeah. And that's why we try to educate ourselves with all of these so-called taboo subjects, like Spiritism and Freemasonry and the Knights Templar and Illuminati and all of that, because we want to be educated. Because when we read and investigate and research stuff with these secret groups and stuff, guess what? We see,
we can see
Watchtower
the connections to Watchtower, absolutely.
And it wasn't until he opened that book and seen the cross and crown. It's like, this is the Christian, branch of the Freemasons. It's like,
now we got it.
And here the JWs proudly wore that pin, on their lapel, and they had it on their books and stuff, and they had no clue what it meant.
They had no clue. See, and that might go a lot further for us, a lot more. It gives us a different direction to look. Instead of just Freemasonry, let's start typing in a Google searching Christian Masonry, and maybe we can find even a more direct connection to Russell Rutherford and the Freemasons.
Well, I was going to say, Atlantis had sent me a book that was about the Knights Templars, and I don't remember what the name of it was, but it was an old book. I mean, it's like from the 1700s on a PDF, and it talks about the different branches of the Knights Templars and stuff. So it might be another way to research, not specifically Freemasons, but get more into the Knights Templar, since
Christian
that
Masonry.
symbol was the one that was on Watchtower.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway.
So it looks like I've got about 10 years worth of reading to do. It'll probably take me that long to do it, too.
Yeah, I mean, you haven't even gotten halfway through the Johannes Grieber
I'm
one.
only up to page like 104 or 105, 107 I think it is right now. So, yeah, I've got a long way to go.
So, thank you so much for everybody for everything. We just love you guys, best friends ever. Thank you for your love and support. And just being there to answer questions and stuff down below our videos, and sending us research material, and thank you for your patience. I am answering emails as fast as I can, and it just takes me a while. So
yeah.
And I do personally answer each and every one, so you're not going to get like a copy and paste email or anything. So anyway. Well, we hope you all have a great weekend, and I know we will. The kids are coming tomorrow.
Kids are coming tomorrow, and got things going, so we'll say goodbye and catch you next time around.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.